Hi, this is Noom Support for SEND, and I am part of the Educational Psychology Service. This is the second part of our series regarding promoting positive transitions. This is in relation to Hopeful et al.'s 2007 5-part model looking at supporting recovery in response to crises. One part of this model looks at supporting a sense of control and efficacy. And this is what we're looking to explore today. Cultivating a sense of control and effectiveness. A sense of control can typically be impacted during transition. There have been a lot of unprecedented and unexpected transitions that have happened in school. And during those transitions, there has been a limited sense of control for some students and pupils. This limited sense of control can have an impact on a child's ability to understand what is expected and how to acquire different skills in regarding to learning tasks. To support children's self-efficacy and sense of control, it's important to encourage a sense of ownership of learning for students. And this can come about through student involvement. We'll be exploring these subjects and seeing how we can support children to develop self-efficacy regarding transition. So, transition. Transition tends to bring about a sense of change, shifts, and can be quite a turbulent time for children and young people if they have a limited sense of control. If we think about typical transition periods, such as when children start school and reception, nursery, when they move through the key stages, when they leave primary school and enter secondary school, when they leave secondary school and enter further education, or leaving school altogether and entering employment. These are all typical changes regarding transition. However, as we are aware, we have entered a period where children did experience school closures and now are returning back to school. So during these transition periods, there may have been a limited sense of control for children and young people. There may have been a change of routine in terms of the times when they enter school, when they enter lunchtime, when they enter the classroom. Change of structure regarding bubbles and classrooms. Change of confidence regarding learning. Change of learning environment. So during school closures, they may have been taught at home. They may have been taught online. They may have been taught in bubbles at different parts of the day. They may have different teachers. So parents may have been teaching them. Teachers may have been teaching them online through Zoom or through Google. They may be entering a different stage of the curriculum from when they left. And children may be entering a different school altogether. So children may have left school before school closures in year 6 and entering year 7 after school closures regarding the pandemic. Different expectations tend to be placed on children through different stages of the curriculum. And this is something to be aware of when we're thinking about children's sense of control and the ability to feel as though they're able to accomplish a task. Self-efficacy refers to the awareness that an individual has regarding their ability to produce a desired result or accomplish a task. A child's self-efficacy can be impacted if their sense of control is disrupted during transition. So, how may students express limited self-efficacy? There may be poor attention and concentration in class, limited focus, and changes in behavior. Externally, they may become distracted easily and call out in the classroom. Or they may become withdrawn, not participating or engaging in group tasks, pair tasks, or putting their hand up in the classroom. They may feel as though they're not able to start or complete work independently. They may have limited motivation to actually pursue with a task. And they may display limited executive functioning skills, so that ability to plan, to organize, to coordinate, and complete a task. Limited self-esteem and confidence may come about if children feel as though they don't know the skills they need to accomplish a task. So it's helpful to look at transition support to help children to develop that sense of control and self-efficacy. Home factors are important. So what skills are children employing at home regarding homework tasks? Can the same skills that children use in school be shared with parents? Are there external factors at home that need to be considered when we're thinking about children's learning? And are they having an impact on that child's ability to concentrate in lesson? Staff-student relationships are important in terms of building that safe space. Positive rapport and a positive relationship with children, between teachers and children, can really help children feel motivated and willing to understand what is necessary to accomplish a task. Effective transition programs can be helpful when preparing children to move from primary to secondary through the key stages. So an understanding of the past child's experiences can really help to ensure that programs are tailored to suit children's learning. Practical activities can be administered. So children can take part in perhaps drawing activities, drawing what they think their school looks like, will look like, what their classroom will look like, what their lunchtimes will look like. And teachers can look at these drawings and identify areas of concern and then speak with a child about what they can do to support. Staggered or gradual entry can be useful for children who may be overwhelmed by what they think they may be learning in their new classroom. And previous learning skills can be applied, and gradually new learning skills can be taught so that children have a gradual understanding of what they need to do in order to complete a learning task. So for children, participating in activities with older children during visits can be helpful because older children can model what is expected during learning tasks and moving around the classroom environment. Teachers having opportunities to greet students before lessons begin can foster that sense of belonging and that safe space so that children feel willing to learn and feel comfortable making mistakes in their learning and taking ownership of their learning. Breakfast clubs can be useful in terms of that nurturing environment before entering the learning environment. And body systems can be used to support social skills and helping children to feel more at ease. Of course, student involvement is integral to helping children to feel as though they have the skills to achieve. Children and young people will require the space to be, rediscover, and to find their voice regarding learning issues that may arise. Student involvement is helpful when re-engaging children with learning, as highlighted in Carpenter's article. Carpenter suggested that staff can check in with students who may compare their learning with their peers' academic outcomes. Some children may be becoming increasingly aware of the learning gap between themselves and their peers. The awareness of a learning gap may be more apparent during the gradual return back to school and could have an impact on children's self-esteem. It is helpful for students to have opportunities to explore what works for them when learning, and for staff to be mindful of the expectations placed on students during the return back to school and transitioning from year group to year group. So we've talked a lot about children, but for parents, there should be some sort of homeschool communication so that parents know what's happening in school in regards to their children's learning. So we can use a range of information formats: formal visits, informal visits, phone calls, or even parent meetings. Information on both the school and what to expect during the transition period can be put up on notice boards or even school newsletters. School governors are quite helpful in terms of spreading messages in terms of what's happening at school regarding children's learning. Overall, it's helpful to have student involvement, parent involvement, and that constant liaison between home and school so that parents know what's happening so that they can relay that message to their child. It's helpful for students to take ownership of their learning and feel as though they're involved in taking part in that learning so that they feel that they can engage more readily. It's helpful to look at a child's past experiences, their past skills that they've employed for learning tasks in their previous year group, and seeing if you can gradually scaffold and extend those learning skills. Transition can be a tricky time, but if we engage students through involving them in learning tasks, they can take ownership of their learning and increase their readiness to learn. I hope this has been a helpful YouTube video for you, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.